Marshall Harris is here. NASCAR isn't just coming to Chicago this summer.
Right, like something out of a video game. They are taking it to the streets here in the Loop. Is this Grand Theft Auto? What's going to happen?
I hope it's not Grand Theft Auto. Let's just say that, Marie. It's the first ever NASCAR street race coming to downtown Chicago the first weekend in July. This is uncharted territory. Madzon sat down with the longtime track executive, NASCAR tab, to run all aspects of this brand new event and the logistical challenges they face.
You know, there is that unknown, like we haven't done this before. How is this going to work? And so that's up to us really to make sure that we are as prepared as possible.
That's part of the reason NASCAR tabbed Julie Giese, the former president of Phoenix Raceway, to oversee everything involved with the first ever Chicago street course. And she and her team are doing that from an office in downtown Chicago.
We're going to be here 365 days a year. That was really important to us. Being a member of the community is incredibly important in giving back to the communities in which we race. So we have about a half dozen employees right now, or we'll grow to just over a dozen.
How do you make this work, turning Chicago city streets into a NASCAR race course?
The beauty of a street race is we're going to race on the street.
Yeah.
So minimal work that would need to be done there. And we'll bring in concrete barriers to go around the course that will have fencing. There's fencing that goes around that. And then I think probably the biggest piece is just the structure build. It will be very similar to like going to a golf tournament and you see the chalets at the tee boxes and the greens. Like that's the type of experience that we're going to be creating.
Will people be able to move around a la golf course?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the beauties of a road course race too, is that you do have the opportunity to move around the footprint and see the racing from different vantage points.
They do have a pretty good idea of what the track will look like. Drivers got a bit of a test run running a virtual race through downtown Chicago back in 2021.
That was a really helpful proof of concept for us just to see that it's possible, and it was like one of those kind of that launching point for the conversations to make it a reality.
As far as the route they chose, Julie says it's something that's been in the works for years.
The iconic location with Grant Park, the beauty of it, then you have the skyline, the lake, Buckingham Fountain. I mean, all of that converged to be a pretty special place to run a race.
But of course, showcasing those landmarks will come with some disruption, something Julie says they are trying to minimize as much as possible.
It's just making sure that we have that window as tight as possible and that we are able to leave the streets open as long as possible and then reopen them. And that's something we're working on right now.
So how do you balance that, the disruption versus how great this event needs to be?
You know, at the end of the day, we're going to be running a race for the very first time in downtown Chicago. It's a tremendous opportunity for us to showcase what Chicago is and what makes Chicago such an amazing city.
In downtown Chicago, Madzon, CBS 2 News.
So we're going to have cars moving at speeds of about 100 miles per hour on the straightaways, but there are a lot of tight turns. Tickets for this race go on sale Thursday, and it's a music festival as well with the Chainsmokers, the Black Crowes, and Miranda Lambert all scheduled to perform. Julie says they're making sure everyone downtown has a good understanding of exactly what will be happening. She also says they are anticipating at least $113 million in economic impact for Chicago.